Hey guys, I just wanted to give you an update about my first endo appointment, which was on Monday, and I didn't end up getting started on T, which I kind of thought I was going to, just based on some other guys' experiences at that office. But what I did do was they did a basic, blood work test, your lipids, your metabolics, that kind of stuff. They did a T count, they did an STD test, they did some other kind of urine culture, your height, your weight, your blood pressure. Took all that information to put it in your file. They did a bunch of intake stuff. Asked me about surgeries I'd be interested in, or like what my end goal was, how like what my transition looked like. So I ended up spending about 2 hours there total, and it wasn't like waiting in the office. It was people actually caring and talking me through everything and making sure I understood exactly what was going on, which is kind of nice. Um, so I did run into two issues while I was there. The first being that I have Implanon in my arm, which is a type of it's Nexplanon. It's a type of birth control, if you don't know. It's similar to an IUD, but it's in your arm. Uh, as far as like a permanent thing, it lasts for 3 years. It is hormonal, but it uses progesterone, not estradiol or whatever. It doesn't use the estrogen based one, so it's not supposed to have a problem with tea. But the endo I went to was very adamant. She didn't want to work with it. She doesn't have experience with it, that kind of thing. And I mean, I've talked to a few trans guys around here who are on both and have been on both for hormone therapy. And I, would really like to keep it. I'm pretty set on that. For the year and a half that I've had it, for a year of that, I haven't had, any type of period at all. No spotting, no mood swings, nothing. So I've, been able to feel like internally male, which has been a huge help for me. And I really I just don't think I could take going back. It would just feel like a backward step in my progress. Um, and I know that some people don't experience, that time of the month when they're on T, but I've also heard that that's not always the case. There's plenty of guys that still either get mood swings or phantom cramps or, hit or miss, like not every month, but they get it. And that's a lot of the reason why people will end up getting hysterectomies. Um, so that they don't experience that, which is cool. And maybe I will end up doing that. But I think for now, because that, my internal junk isn't really bothering me, other than that one thing that I don't want to make a permanent change. So for you guys that are maybe transitioning, think about that. Every step you make in your transition, some of them are permanent changes and some of them are temporary changes, and make sure you're completely ready to make a permanent change. Don't just make one because everyone else is, or because you see another, transgender person doing it. Your transition doesn't have to be identical to everyone else's, and I think that's a big thing that sometimes we miss. So, whether I choose to do that later on in my life, that will be up to me, and hopefully, my partner and stuff, we'll talk about that. Because, maybe I will end up having a kid someday. I don't know. I've always been I want to have kids, but I don't want to have kids. I've never had any, mother instinct to have kids, but I've had that, naturing instinct, maybe I'd call it, a father's instinct to, be a father, be a parent. But I've never had the interest to have a kid. But I just think it would be unwise to shut that completely down when it's not bugging me. So if we can't get past that, then I'm probably going to go see a different endo. And I was already talking to PERSAD, which is the big center in Pittsburgh, who gave me some other options, which fortunately I'm 23 right now, so I guess I can still go to the Children's Hospital, which the Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh, for those of you that don't know, is huge in advancement and research and stuff. Now, I'm not really sure how far they would be advanced in gender studies and stuff, but just the idea of it kind of got me excited. So if this one doesn't work out, that's probably where I'll start. And I can only go there till I'm not sure if it's including 24 or just until I'm 24, so I wouldn't get to go there very long. But, they might have some information that, the people around here might not know. And then the one other thing that I ran into is I plan on doing subdermal pellets in my butt, which are they're little testosterone pellets, basically like pills that slow dissolve that go in underneath the muscle, like underneath the skin. And you go to your doctor 3 or 4 times a year. They put them in and they slow dissolve. Now, I have no problem starting out on injections, to find my dose, to make sure I don't have any interactions, all that kind of stuff, because it's much easier to change a dose than to pull those out of your body. But I'm really big on doing these subdermals as far as lifetime goes, because one, I'm a person that sucks at pills. I could probably count how many times I've gotten antibiotics and actually taken my dose the whole time. So I'm kind of worried about missing a T dose. Not initially, of course. I'll be super excited to start my transition and be pumped up, and I'm sure you remember. But as life gets busy, 5 years down the road, when you're not thinking about it, when you feel completely yourself, and you're not constantly thinking about passing and your transition because you're just you. I think it would be a heck of a lot easier to not have to remember that constantly. Just have to remember a couple appointments a year. 1. And 2, subdermals are 100% more accurate. So your gel, if you do gels and stuff or patches, they have a wide range because you don't know how much your body is absorbing and stuff. And then your injections are a lot more accurate. That's why you see the guys that are having on gels and not getting facial hair, but then they go to injections and get facial hair because they're getting that better dose. Even if it's the same dose, they're getting a more accurate amount of their dose. But even with injections, you have stuff that stays in the needle, or you miss, or whatever. There's always that little bit that gets wasted. Where these pellets, they're consistent. The only way you're gonna have a quality problem is if you have a manufacturing quality problem. This pill was made slightly off from this pill. Because it's gonna be the same pill, the same dose, always. In your skin, you can't do anything about it. It's there. You're not gonna lose any of it. So it's 100% the same level all the time. So it's supposed to be a lot better, especially because it reacts with your body as more like you're getting it naturally rather than injecting it every 2 weeks. It's your body's already naturally has it. So it's just more consistent. So I would really like to do that. And my endo doesn't have any experience with it, so they're not really sure if they want to do that. The problem is that universal transgender care is just so new that there's not a lot of research out there telling you how drugs interact, telling you about different forms and stuff. And the most common use for the pellets right now is for cisgendered guys that have low T, not for transgendered men. So it's happening. I've talked to people that are on it, that have done that for their whole transition, even starting, but it's still so new, guys. It's still a couple years back, it was, you had to fly halfway around the country to do these things because, there were select centers that dealt with this. And now, it's becoming a lot more normal for, average doctors, but they still don't have the level of experience, of dealing with other issues. So we're always going to be fighting a battle, guys. I really like to have both those things happen. And I haven't seen a lot of information on either one of them, either the Nexplanon with testosterone, which I think is a much better birth control, especially for gay trans men, than your other options, especially because it's hormonal. And I also haven't seen very much, and neither has my doctor, who is actually looking into journal sites and stuff that I can't even access because I'm not in the medical field. And they also aren't running into a lot about, those two interactions, nor the pellet use for trans men. So I think it'd be really cool if, this can work out, and I can document that and help the next trans guy that goes in and says, hey, I'm going to do this, and it's just be already normal, So I'm sorry for the lengthy video, guys. Feel free to tell me that I drug it on, but I really wanted to talk to you about those, the two, drug things, because I think, I haven't seen a lot of information about it, that's all. And so if you want to ask me any questions or hit me up, you can check out my Tumblr. I post quite a bit on there, a lot more often than here. And that's it, guys. This is Gage. I'm out.